Let's explore projects, which are the key organizer of infrastructure resources, and relate these resources to billing accounts. Resources can only be created and consumed within projects, in a way that projects isolate related resources from one another. I will demonstrate how to create and delete projects and switch contexts between projects. Some of these actions cannot be performed in the Quick Labs environment due to security restrictions. Therefore, I'm going to demonstrate them in my environment. So here I am in the GCP console. You can actually see this is a trial account, and you can also create a trial account yourself if you would like to follow along with this. Essentially what I'm going to do first is go ahead and create a project. So I'm going to click up on my project name up here, and there's this icon up here to create a new project. So let me go click that. And now the one thing I want to do is I want to define a project name. So let me just say my new project. And you can see that it automatically creates a project ID. And that project ID is going to be unique versus my name is really not so unique. So let me click create on that. And it is now telling me here that it's going to create that project. I can follow along with that here in the notification pane. And one thing to notice is when you create a new project that some of the services that you're going to use may not be initially available. So here I now have my new project. I could now switch projects. So if I go to my home, for example, I see here the project itself. I could go to the project settings. I could shut that down, or I could switch to a different one. So let me actually change up here to this new project that I created. We go in there and let's follow the process for shutting that down. So I'm going to click on shutdown. Now I want to make sure that I really want to do that. It's telling me a little bit about what's going to happen when I do this. Specifically, all billing and traffic serving will stop, but the shutdown is actually scheduled, so it will take 30 days, and this is in case that you want to maybe undo this. So I need to just retype my project ID, and I can actually copy and paste that in here. And I can click shutdown. And it should now give me a notification. So here it's telling me when exactly it's going to shut this down. And I can click OK on that. So now this is being scheduled for shutdown. So now I can go back and obviously want to grab a project. It's automatically putting me on the site. Alternatively, if I go home, you'll see that I also have an option up here. It's telling me, hey, you really need to select a project. So lots of different ways to go about. So I could click on that and select a project. Now, I want to show in a second how we can also maybe switch projects once we're in Cloud Shell. So let's actually go ahead and create another project. And let's just call this my second project. We can create that as well. And they'll start in the background for us. So what I want to do now, as I said, I want to go to Cloud Shell. So if I go up here in the right corner, it says Activate Cloud Shell. I just click on that. It doesn't ask me if you sure want to start Cloud Shell because I've already been using Cloud Shell with this user. So it's also telling me that I haven't used my Cloud Shell in a while, so it has to unarchive my disk, and that's going to take a little bit of time. But once that's up, we can actually go use the gcloud config list command. And we can paste that in, and it's going to give us more information about the configuration that we currently have. And that will include the project that we currently have selected. And we can actually see the project right here. This is the project I'm working on right now. So if I paste in, I automatically copied that when I clicked on it. So I want to instead type in here gcloud config list. So here we get some more information, and I can also use the grep command in here to directly get my project, and there we see this is the project that we're currently using. Okay, I could actually now even change the focus of my GCP console to this new project, and you'll see if I run this command again, my focus of Cloud Shell is still focused on this other project that I had. So one thing we could do now is we could store the project ID maybe in an environment variable, and then we could maybe set it so we could kind of swap back and forth. So let me get the project ID, it's right here, and I'm going to maybe just store that in an environment variable, and let's just call that my project ID 1. So let me grab the project ID, copy that, paste that in there. So now I have that stored, and now I could use the gcloud config set project to define an action to change the project ID. And now you can see that I have that other project ID listed here. So I can actually see that. And I could also now use the same gcloud config list command and grab the project. And you'll see that now I'm working on a different project. That's how easy it is to create and delete projects and switch contexts between projects.